Hello and welcome to Write Bite number 1. I'm Chris Kilgore, Writing Resource Coordinator for the School of Social Work at the University of Texas at Arlington, and this Write Bite will start with the basics. In fact, the most basic question: why write? Now that's an honest question. Take a moment to consider. Why do we bother to write? Why do we ask students to complete papers? What's all this writing good for? Remember, every time you turn in one written assignment, your instructor has to grade like 30 of these things. So why do that? Go on, think of some reasons. Write something down. Take a moment. Say it aloud. Or don't say it too loud if you're in a public place. Try not to annoy anybody. Take a moment to think of something. Why do we do this? I bet most of us came up with answers something like these: because they make us, because we need grades. And that's true. We do use writing assignments as an assessment form, but that's only part of the story. When I asked why write, many of us probably also came up with some variation on one of the three primary real reasons we tend to add writing assignments to social work courses: to learn, to practice, to communicate. So our brains work differently on writing, as the cognitive scientists will tell us. So when we're engaged in learning, if we read something in a book, listen to someone pontificate about it, like me, we don't necessarily retain the material nearly as well as if we turn around and have to do something with it, apply it to a client case, explore it in detail in the literature, or compare and contrast it with other approaches. And what we do with it is equally important. So we engage in writing in order to practice. Social work is a writing-intensive discipline. I always tell everybody we should all be prepared to go through the writing process, coming up with ideas, drafting, revising, proofreading for the rest of our professional lives. So that's why our social work writing assignments are based on real kinds of writing we'll be doing in what I've taken to calling the real world, in a practice setting beyond the classroom. Your writing assignments are a practice run, and here you'll receive useful and intensive feedback on the writing that you're doing. Remember, out there in the real world, nobody has to read your writing. They can read a line or two and say, "Oh, not working for me." In here, your instructors and I are your captive audience. We have to read your writing, and we will give you feedback so that you'll know how this works when you get out there into the workplace. Also, it's easy to forget that writing needs an audience other than an instructor. When we're in the habit of writing in a classroom context, it's easy to feel like there's only one audience, and it's that person behind the desk whose job it is to grade us. This can lead us to try to read their mind and try to figure out what they want us to say. And I gotta tell you, your telepathy is not that good. A more effective way to decide how to complete an assignment is to remember that writing has to communicate, and our writing assignments should be able to address a real-world audience, someone who wants to read what we're writing in some real-world context for some real reasons. Figuring out who that is and why they need what we're writing will get us much closer to completing an effective paper. It's easy to get in the habit of thinking of writing as just another obstacle that stands in our way, especially when we go through it over and over again and when our writing gets graded, like a test or a quiz. Just one more thing that stands in your way on your way to your degree and your job. But I gotta tell you, in upper division and graduate level classes, a writing assignment is not an obstacle, it's an opportunity. Well, that's it for Write Bite number 1, but Write Bite number 2 is coming right up. And in that Write Bite, I will make the alarming claim that there is no such thing as good writing. What does that mean? Stay tuned.